Hey everybody, welcome to the Pasture-Raised podcast. My name is Luke Gross. Together with my wife Catherine and our 4 children, I run Gross Family Farm in southern Indiana. I really want to thank you for listening to this, our first episode. If you're at all into pasture-based farming, I hope you'll get some value out of what we're trying to accomplish here. First, a little bit about me. I met my wife in 2007, and once I convinced her to marry me, we started dreaming about having a farm one day. After a year of working on someone else's farm, we started raising vegetables on our own in 2010. And after a few years of veg farming, we were finding that for us and the way we were doing it, it was difficult to make an income and have enough time to spend with our young family. We also started to learn about the possibilities with pasture and perennial-based systems and regenerative agriculture. So in 2014, we began raising pigs in the woods, and in the end of 2015, we purchased and moved on to our new farm. Once we arrived here, we began adding in more and more animals and eliminating pretty much all the crops. So now we are in our 6th year of raising animals on pasture. The enterprises on our farm are chickens, pigs, ducks, cattle, turkeys, and sheep. If you don't know me or know much about me, I'm sure you'll get a chance to learn more about me in the future episodes. I've been a big consumer of podcasts over the years, related to whatever interest I have, but most especially farming. I've been thinking about producing a podcast like this for a long time, mostly because it's really the podcast I've always wanted to listen to. Many of my friends and colleagues in this space have produced podcasts that had elements of what I was looking for. But what you'll see here is my attempt at providing just what I was always looking for more of, which is conversations with good, innovative, and interesting pasture-based farmers to see what's working, what's not working, and how we can all build farms and farm businesses better. My hope is to talk to people who are working on solving the real problems many of us might come across daily on our farms and in the marketplace. Throughout each episode, I hope you'll hear novel and interesting answers to this question. How are different people with different skills and perspectives in different contexts building farms that can sustain our families, our land, our communities, and our ecosystems? If you're into that sort of stuff, have a listen. If that's the mission statement, so to speak, of this podcast, then this is sort of my shopping list. Here are a few of the markers that I hope are present in each of my conversations. Number 1, regenerative farming solutions. How are we producing food while positively impacting our ecosystems? What are the ways that, through our impacts on the land, we are improving the markers of biodiversity, wildlife habitat, cleaner air, water, and improved soils? 2, we're going to talk about pasture-based agriculture. The farms I hope to highlight are pasture-based farms. We are pastoralists, and our craft is a big part of what I want to dive into. I want to talk to folks who are doing work in this field about this craft. Sometimes it may look like nerding out or talking shop, but I want to dig deep into the particulars of how those who are innovating and applying their creativity to the craft of regenerative grassland management, rotational grazing, and ecosystem solutions are doing their job. 3, profitable farms. The solutions we pursue on the land can only be long-term solutions if we can obtain and manage a yield adequate to provide for a family or multiple families. We will be talking about how we can make our interactions with the land economically sustainable. My hope is that these conversations will touch on all aspects of how we can do just that, running efficient operations with sound business principles, understanding necessary metrics, and how we can manage essential resources of time, labor, capital, energy, etc. better. Sustainable farms are profitable farms, and profitable farms are real businesses, and running real businesses is a skill that requires some thought. Number 4, I want to feature farms that communicate and market well. A piece of that economic sustainability is finding those who are looking for what we have to offer and then communicating with them. I'll hope to talk to farmers about how we can share our stories, but also how we can make sure we're communicating in a way that helps people see how we can bring solutions to bear in our customers' lives. I hope to chat with folks who are thinking about their customers' experiences from first contact through the eating experience and beyond. 5, farmers who are figuring out how to balance life on the land with raising a family. I won't exclusively talk to people who have young families such as mine, but I do want to hear how people are keeping themselves, their relationships, and the people around them as healthy as possible while they do the hard work of running a farm business. If it hasn't become apparent yet, this podcast, while not about my life per se, is about the things I spend my life thinking about, doing, and being invested in. That happens to be the kind of things that I want to have discussions about. All of the things discussed above are, in my case, done so that I can enjoy life on the land with my family, living a well-balanced and considered life. So I plan to talk to people who I think are doing an exemplary job of raising a family in an agrarian context about just that. Some conversations may touch on this topic and others may be entirely focused on it. But in the end, this is the topic that underlies every other one because it is the end goal for me. of all we do here. And number 6, solving the issues that come alongside rural life and navigating the new rural economy that we find ourselves in. I suspect that I'll have the chance to talk to first-generation farmers and seventh-generation farmers. But either way, I'll be talking to people who work in pastures. And pastures are usually in rural areas. In some places, rural areas have seen issues related to urban sprawl and dwindling opportunities for land access. But in other places, declining populations, brain drain, vanquished economies, and real social and community decline are a set of local issues to contend with. I suspect we will get into these topics some, but also solutions and how regenerative agriculture fits into rural economies now and into the future. So that's it. That's the vision for this thing. It's my dream podcast. So each episode will feature those kinds of conversations with those kinds of farmers. If you're into that, feel free to subscribe and listen along. If you want to see what I have going on my farm, feel free to check us out on Facebook or Instagram at Groce, Groce, Family Farm. Our website is grossfamilyfarm.com. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy what's to come.